Welcome back to SketchUp Basics. This video will cover developing scenes and exporting drawings. So this is where we left you from our last drawing with our bedroom. And so now what we want to do is we want to separate out of our drawing so it's easy to get back to a specific drawing that we have set up, or its specific view of where we were at. The first way that we do that is you have to go up here to the top and select Windows, and under Window is Default Tray. So pull that down and hit Show Tray. So right over here on the side now is our default tray. And we want to drop down, use the right hand, and we want to go down to Scenes and select the Scene tool. So from there, I'm just going to drop down Scenes. Alrighty, I had instructions there, didn't I? Alright, and if we come down here, we can see under Scenes, we have an update that's saving it within the scene itself. Save or Control S doesn't save the scene. You have to update the scene every time. This adds a scene, the little circle with the plus. This takes a scene away if you want. And then all the way over here at the end is just a general menu item. So what we want to do is, first thing we want to do is find a perspective view such as this one. And it really doesn't matter how it's set up there. It's just going to be, we're going to add it. And all of a sudden it's going to name it Scene 1. But we're going to come down here at the bottom and we're going to rename it as our base. That's our base drawing. That means we can always get back to here. So once I've put in base drawing and I've changed the name, I want to come over to the menu, pull it down. Now, if I hadn't given it a name at this time, I could rename the scene at this point. But basically what we want to do is update the scene. So you hit Update, and you'll see a little tab. It's changed right here, base drawing, and right up here it's given us a tab at the top. That's been saved. So no matter what I do, if I come in here and I turn my drawing upside down and turn it all around, and it's like, well, where's my base drawing? All I have to do is come in and hit my base drawing, and it'll take me right to that drawing. All right, so let's create another scene. So we're going to add a scene, and we're going to call this Scene 2. We're going to call it our Plan View. All right, now, and then I'm going to update my scene. Now I can use this little arrows that intertwine with one another at the top left to update the scene. And, well, I'm not quite ready to update the scene at this point. I created the scene, but now let's create the view. To create two-dimensional drawings, you want to go up to Camera, and you come to underneath Camera, you roll down to Parallel Projection, and you click on that, and it gives you a really, really funny view. You go back up to Camera, and under Standard Views, you want the top view. And there is our floor plan. So that is the view that we want to save underneath our plan view. This is a two-dimensional view now. It's not in perspective anymore. So let's update this scene. And we're going to update. And you can see I have a little icon right in here that shows us what that view is. All right, now let's create another view. So we're going to add another scene. And this one we're going to call this Bed Wall View. All right. So I'm going to go back to my camera. Now I'm already at parallel projections, but I want to do maybe, and it depends on how your drawing was set up. Oops. Parallel projection. Back up again to standard view. Let's try the front. That's it. Here's my bed. Here's my person and my window. So now that's the view that I want, and I want to update that that view. Now that view is in there. Let's make one more view, and we're going to call this our window wall view. And again, we're in parallel projections, but since that was the front, I'm assuming this may be the right. Oh, no, see, we're outside of our drawing. We don't want to be there. It must be the left. So back up to camera, standard view, and hit left. That's the view. Here's my bookcase, my chairs, and my two window walls, and my person. So that's the view that I want, and I want to update that view. So I'm now going to update. All right. Now I'm going to go back to, so I have my plan view, I have my bed wall view, and I have my window view. Now those are my three two-dimensional drawings. So that would be like a floor plan, a bed wall elevation, and a window wall elevation. Those are the three that I want. Now I'm going to go back to my base view because it's already in perspective. Now I want to come in and create our perspective and our perspective view. Before I do that though, I want to add a ceiling onto here because that will be helpful. So I'm going to come from the inside corner to the inside corner, and I'm simply going to put in a plane. Now part of the problem will be that when I try to go back, anything that I do in any scene will also show up on the other scenes. So we'll have to go back and take off this ceiling eventually when we get there. So I want to orbit, and I want to find the view that I like the best, that's going to show me the most of my drawing, the most interesting drawing. And remember, this is our ceiling. We also want to deal with the eye level line, and this is another reason why we leave our person in here, because we want to take our horizon line that's right here, and we want to put it right inside of where the eye is on our individual. So I want to add a scene, and this is going to be my perspective. Okay, and so if I'm wanting that particular view, I want to maybe scan this over just a hair because I want to fill up my page as much as possible. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to close this so that I can get it as big as possible and get my eye level line here. Perfect. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit to see if I can get as big a picture here as possible. That's what I'm looking for. And you notice when I pulled it over like that, it has messed up my eye level line. So now I'm going to have to come down just a little bit, and I'll probably have to zoom out just a hair. And that really fills up my drawing pretty well, and I can still see the ceiling pretty well. Now, if you notice, remember when we were talking at the very beginning when we did our first beginning class, I told you that SketchUp draws in 3 dimensions, and it creates a 3-point perspective. And we can see that very strong here. Do you see how this angle, the angle of our wall here and here, feels like it's tilting? We don't want that. We want to take, going back to our camera now, and my view got up just a little high, so back to get that eye level line. See how that just matches straight across here, right at his eye level line. Maybe I could pull back just a hair, but let's just see. So we want to go to camera and see where it says perspective. That's a 3-point perspective. We want to hit 2-point perspective. And watch what happens. See how our walls are now straight up and down? My view's just a little off. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit, and I probably am going to just go out a hair. Right there. So I can get some ceiling in here. I can get some floor in here. Makes it a lot easier. That view I really, really like. I think that's a great view. So let's go back and hit Window again. I'm going to pull up my default tray. And see, my image didn't change, but it shoves it over to the side. So I've got my perspective view, and I want to update it. Now that I've updated it, if I go to my plan view now, and I go, all I'm going to see is my ceiling. So that doesn't do me a whole lot of good. So I'm going to go back to my perspective view, and I am going to shut off my tray here. I have my view. Now I have my view. I want to get it out of SketchUp. I want to take it and put it into another format that I'll be able to print from. So here I want to go under File, and I want to go right down in the middle to Export. Now we're not wanting, even though we have a three-dimensional drawing here, we want to, we want to send or export out a 2D graphic. A 2D graphic, which is simply a picture of what it is that we've taken here. So I'm going to hit 2D graphic, and I want to give it a name. So this is my, this is now my bedroom perspective. And I'm going to save it as a JPEG. That's perfectly fine. I need to tell it where to go to. I want it to go to My Documents, and I export. Okay, now that drawing has been put into a JPEG file. So now I want to come in and I want to go ahead and remove my ceiling. All right, I can remove this plane over here too. Now when I go to Plan View, I have my exact plan view that I want without my ceiling sitting in there. So again, I want to go back and export this drawing as a 2D graphic. And in this case, it's my bedroom plan view. And it's being saved as a JPEG. See right here at the file. It also gives me a chance to change it as a PDF or anything else. A JPEG is easy because I can transport it almost anywhere. And again, it's going to go to My Documents, and I'm going to export. Now I'm going to my bedroom, the bed wall. 2D graphic fills up the page nicely, and I'm going to export this as a drawing, as a 2D graphic. This would be my bedroom, the bed wall is enough. I could put view in there. JPEG, export it. And lastly, I'm going to pull up my window wall, and I want to export it. Export it as a 2D graphic. And this would be my bedroom window wall. And those would be all of my graphics that I need to set up now. And you can take out your grid lines if you want to. You can take out your axle lines, but you don't have to. You can leave those in. So for the most part, I can come out of SketchUp. So I'm just going to diminish this, but I'm going to open up another program that I want to use in order to organize my pages. Now remember, I want all my pages to be in the same order. And again, you can do this in Photoshop. You can do this in InDesign. You could do it in PowerPoint. I'm going to do mine in Publisher. It's a simple program that I have. It's a publishing program. I want my largest drawing, so I'm going to create a blank 11 by 17. So this is now in the format that I wanted. And now I simply want to bring those drawings in. So I'm going to do an insert like I would. Some programs may require you to bring it in. It's a picture file now. And I want My Documents. it may require you to import a drawing rather than export it. So now here is my bedroom perspective. So I'm selecting it from my file, and I'm simply going to input it. Now, I want it to be as large as possible on my page, keeping in mind that I will add a digital. Now, you only want to expand from the corners when you do this. And because it's a picture file now, that's a nice size drawing. I could stretch it just a little bit farther. The other thing that I can do is I can come in and crop it with my crop command, and I can bring this right in so that I can make it as big as possible on the page. I don't need that exterior wall like that. And let me see where it looks. That holds pretty well. Gives me a little room for a title down here, and that's a good size. Now, I would put mine all in the same format. So what I'm going to do is now insert a page, and I'm going to import, or insert in this case. I'm going to do my floor plan. Oops, where did it go? Bedroom floor. Oops, wrong floor plan. There you go, plan view. I'm going to insert that. And again, the first thing I'm going to do is come in and I'm going to do a crop so that I can get it a nice size on my paper. So I'm utilizing all the pieces of my paper. Always pull from the corner so that it comes out in a proportion scale. So nicely sized. I have room for a title at the bottom or the left if I want to. Adding another page. Insert another page, and now I'm going to bring in both of my elevations. So here's the bedroom wall. Move it down just a hair, and then I'm going to bring in, basically this is a cut and paste process. And where's my other one? There it is. And I'm going to insert. All right, again, I want to crop these so that my drawing can be, again, as big as possible. I'm just going to crop these all down. Now, just from a proportion standpoint, I'm going to put the smaller one on the top, and I'm going to put the larger one on the bottom for a nice balance. And again, you can do this in any program that you're comfortable with. And now I can increase each one of these just a little bit so they fill up the page nicely. And you want them to increase about the same proportion. There we go. Then I'm going to line it up. Probably center it in my page works really well in this particular case. I want to leave enough room for a title, and those are the pages that I need for this particular assignment. So I'm going to call this whole packet, and again, doesn't matter what program you did it in, you want to do a save, and this will be my bedroom packet, and I want to save that to my documents and save. Once I've done that, now I can take all three of these pages and I can go to the print command, and I want to print them. I want a letter size. If I go up to properties, I can make sure that it is in landscape. It looks like it's in landscape. And landscape right up here. So that tells me 11 by 17. And now I can just send it to the printer. That's where you want to be. I hope that was all clear to everyone. And I look forward to talking with you in the next assignment. Thank you. Thank you.